Lesson 18. Dialogue. Choosing a language. John is a language major at the University of Wisconsin. His friend Jean asks his advice about what language to study.
I have to take a language next year.
I'm glad to hear it. You've never studied a foreign language, have you?
No, not yet. I wanted to ask your advice about what to study.
Well, they're all interesting, and they all take time to learn. Does it have to be a scientific language? I mean, do you have to read scientific articles?
No, anything will do. I've always wanted to go to Africa. What language do they speak there?
Language? Actually, there are hundreds of languages in Africa.
Hundreds?
Yes, really. Arabic's important in the north, of course, and there are a few European languages that are widely used as official languages. But there are many native languages, like Hausa, Yoruba, and the Bantu languages.
Would you advise me to study one of those?
It really depends on where you plan to go in Africa.
Well, I don't have any definite plans yet. Perhaps that isn't such a good idea after all.
Why not study Arabic?
That's your field, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, the writing system frightens me.
Oh, that's nothing. You'll catch on to that fast. I could help you, of course.
Would you?
I'd like nothing better.
Practice drills and exercises. 1. 1. WH, word plus infinitive. Take the part of speaker A. Restate the question using the formula given and an infinitive. Speaker B. Answer freely, inventing a reply. Listen to the models.
1. What should I study?
I want to ask your advice about what to study.
I want to ask your advice about what to study.
I want to ask your advice about what to study.
Why don't you study Spanish? It's a useful language to know because it's spoken in Spain and in most of Latin America.
2. What country should I go to first?
I want to ask your advice about what country to go to first.
I want to ask your advice about what country to go to first.
I want to ask your advice about what country to go to first.
Why don't you go to Canada? There's a lot to see and do there.
Now you do the exercise.
1. What should I study?
I want to ask your advice about what to study.
2. What country should I go to first?
I want to ask your advice about what country to go to first.
3. Where should I eat in Paris?
I want to ask your advice about where to eat in Paris.
4. What kind of car should I buy?
I want to ask your advice about what kind of car to buy.
5. What hotel should I stay at in Tokyo?
I want to ask your advice about what hotel to stay at in Tokyo.
6. Where should I stay when I'm in Hong Kong?
I want to ask your advice about where to stay when I'm in Hong Kong.
7. How long should I stay in New York?
I want to ask your advice about how long to stay in New York.
8. What should I see in New York?
I want to ask your advice about what to see in New York.
Nine. Where should I buy a watch for my wife?
I want to ask your advice about where to buy a watch for my wife.
Ten. How should I travel from New York to Chicago?
I want to ask your advice about how to travel from New York to Chicago.
Eleven. What airline should I take from Hawaii to Japan?
I want to ask your advice about what airline to take from Hawaii to Japan.
Twelve. What languages should I study before I go to Africa?
I want to ask your advice about what languages to study before I go to Africa.
Two. Reporting questions. Yes, no, and question word. Take the part of speaker B and report the questions. Use whether in reporting yes-no questions. Listen to the model.
Do you speak Arabic, John?
What did Jean ask John?
She asked whether he spoke Arabic.
She asked whether he spoke Arabic.
She asked whether he spoke Arabic.
Now do the exercise.
Do you speak Arabic, John?
What did Jean ask John?
She asked whether he spoke Arabic. What language should I study, John?
What did Jean ask John?
She asked him what language she should study. Did you call me, Tom?
What did Mary ask Tom?
She asked him whether he called her. Where did you eat in Paris?
What did Mrs. Rush ask?
She asked where I ate in Paris. Would you call me, Marge?
What did Helen ask Marge?
She asked her whether she would call her.
Have you ever been to Egypt, Mr. Long?
What did Dr. Ferguson ask Mr. Long?
He asked him whether he had ever been to Egypt.
When shall I give out the samples?
What did Anne ask?
She asked when she should give out the samples.
Questions and answers. Listen.
What did he tell me to do?
He told you to pull over.
What did she say?
She told us not to talk.
Did Mom call?
Yes, she asked everyone to come to dinner.
What did she say?
She said to call her if we needed anything.
Did you hear what he said?
Yes. He told you not to park over here.
I didn't hear what she said. Did you?
Yes, she told us not to walk on the grass.
Practice drills and exercises. 2. 1. Direct and indirect speech. Imperatives. Change the sentences from direct to indirect speech. Listen to the models.
1. Stand up, Bill, the teacher said.
The teacher told Bill to stand up.
The teacher told Bill to stand up.
The teacher told Bill to stand up.
2. Don't stand up, Bill, the teacher said.
The teacher told Bill not to stand up.
The teacher told Bill not to stand up.
The teacher told Bill not to stand up.
Now do the exercise.
1. Stand up, Bill, the teacher said.
The teacher told Bill to stand up.
2. Don't stand up, Bill, the teacher said.
The teacher told Bill not to stand up.
3. Get in the car, children, Mrs. Smith said.
Mrs. Smith told the children to get in the car.
4. Don't be afraid, Jack, Bob said.
Bob told Jack not to be afraid.
5. Listen to me, Mary, Mrs. White said.
Mrs. White told Mary to listen to her.
6. Don't tell Mary, Steve, I said.
I told Steve not to tell Mary.
7. Have patience, John, his father said.
His father told John to have patience.
8. Don't bother me, Lisa said to her little brother.
Lisa told her little brother not to bother her.
9. Lie down, the doctor said to Henry.
The doctor told Henry to lie down.
10. Don't worry, Jim said to me.
Jim told me not to worry.
11. Imitate the voice on the tape, class, the teacher said.
The teacher told the class to imitate the voice on the tape.
12. Don't forget to see Mount Kilimanjaro, everyone said to me.
Everyone told me not to forget to see Mount Kilimanjaro.
Two-word verbs. A small group of separable two-word verbs use the word down, which adds the meaning of completely or in a downward direction. Those with an asterisk in front can be used without an object. Repeat.
Burn down. Chop down. Cut down. Pull down. Push down. Take down. Tear down.
Tear down has the meaning of destroy. All of the two-word verbs used in these lessons are defined on page 213 of the appendix. The separable two-word verbs below use off to refer to the surface of, and the word out to refer to the inside of. Note that they all have reference to cleaning something. Repeat.
Brush off. Clean off. Rinse off. Wipe off. Wash off. Sweep off. Dust off. Brush out. Clean out. Rinse out. Wipe out. Wash out. Sweep out.
Below are some useful two-word verbs. Learn to recognize their meanings when you hear them used. Repeat.
Call off. Cut out. Bring about. Hang up. Start off. Think up. Think over. Look over. Put off. Exercise 1. Substitute a two-word verb for the italicized verb in the sentence. Use two-word verbs from the lists above. Listen to the model.
1. The doctor said I had to eliminate coffee from my diet.
The doctor said I had to cut out coffee from my diet.
The doctor said I had to cut out coffee from my diet.
The doctor said I had to cut out coffee from my diet.
Now do the exercise.
1. The doctor said I had to eliminate coffee from my diet.
The doctor said I had to cut out coffee from my diet.
Two. Has the meeting been canceled?
Has the meeting been called off?
3. What caused her illness?
What brought about her illness?
4. After she finished talking, she put the receiver back on the hook.
After she finished talking, she hung up.
5. You should examine contracts carefully before you sign them.
You should look over contracts carefully before you sign them.
6. He's always creating new ideas.
He's always thinking up new ideas.
7. I want you to consider this carefully.
I want you to think over this carefully.
8. They destroyed the old apartment house where I used to live.
They tore down the old apartment house where I used to live.
9. The house burned to the ground.
The house burned down.
10. Why did he postpone his trip to India?
Why did he put off his trip to India?
11. He began the meeting by reading a financial report.
He started off the meeting by reading a financial report.
Exercise 2. Fill the blank with one of the two-word verbs in parentheses. Listen to the model.
1. Tear up, tear down.
I heard they're going to tear down that old office building downtown.
I heard they're going to tear down that old office building downtown.
I heard they're going to tear down that old office building downtown.
Now do the exercise.
1. Tear up, tear down.
I heard they're going to tear down that old office building downtown.
2. Burn up, burn down.
I didn't want anyone to read the letter, so I burned it up in the fireplace.
3. Brush off, brush out.
The dining room table's dirty. Will you brush it off, please?
Four. Cut up, cut down.
After he chopped down the tree, he cut it up.
5. Tear up, tear down.
After she read the letter, she became very angry and tore it up.
6. Sweep off, sweep out.
The bedroom was dirty, so she decided to sweep it out.
7. Chop up, chop down.
She was cooking a Chinese dinner. The first thing she did was chop up the meat and vegetables.
8. Look up, look over.
I handed him the letter. He looked it over and gave it back to me.
Vocabulary study. Expressions with talk. Learn these expressions with the word talk. Then complete the sentences below. Use a dictionary as needed. Repeat.
Talk shop. Talk about business.
Talk turkey. Talk frankly.
Talk a blue streak. Talk without stopping.
Talk big. Brag.
Talk up. Talk about something a lot in order to advertise it.
Talk back. Argue.
Give someone back talk. Argue, reply defiantly.
Talk someone out of. Dissuade.
Talk someone into. Persuade, convince.
Talk through one's hat. Talk foolishly. Talk about something you know nothing about.
Give someone a talking to. Scold.
Now listen to the model.
1. If we don't, this party, no one will know about it.
If we don't talk up this party, no one will know about it.
If we don't talk up this party, no one will know about it.
If we don't talk up this party, no one will know about it.
Now you do the exercise.
1. If we don't this party, no one will know about it.
If we don't talk up this party, no one will know about it.
2. Bill Thompson and Jack Lewis are both chefs. Every time they get together, they...
Bill Thompson and Jack Lewis are both chefs. Every time they get together, they talk shop.
3. Impolite children give their parents...
Impolite children give their parents back talk.
4. I don't believe the senator. He's...
I don't believe the senator. He's talking through his hat.
5. Mr. Hamilton gave Keith for making so many errors.
Mr. Hamilton gave Keith a talking to for making so many errors.
6. Fishermen like to... about their success.
Fishermen like to talk big about their success.
7. They tried to... him buying that big car because it uses too much gas.
They tried to talk him out of buying that big car because it uses too much gas.
8. Ellie was all excited. She was...
Ellie was all excited. She was talking a blue streak.
9. He tried to... the captain giving him a weekend pass.
He tried to talk the captain into giving him a weekend pass.
10. Let's not waste any more time. Let's...
Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk turkey.
End of Lesson 18.